Hi, I'm Austin.
Hi, I'm Brent.
Hi, I'm Marcus.
Hi, I'm Casey.
And we
While at STEP, we identified a problem between the shock cover and the jounce. The problem was the pneumatic press was misaligning parts.
After spending a lot of time with various workers at STEP and seeing what kind of improvements we could make to the assembly process of the jounce and the black cylinder, we finally identified two prototypes that would be most effective in providing a solution for the workers. You can see the first prototype here. This prototype had two main parts. The first was that on the top of the hydraulic press there would be a new cap, the cap being where the hydraulic piston makes contact with the top of the jounce. And the idea there was that we would cut a slit into it and we would be able to insert the jounce and it be held in place so that it wouldn't be able to tilt back and forth and misalign. In addition to that, this first prototype also had a tray at the bottom so that the worker could just roll the part out instead of having to tilt over a steel plate, which would hopefully alleviate some of the physical pain that some of the workers may feel while working. Secondly, our second prototype is very similar to what was already found at STEP. We had a base plate that was going to be in the same location of the existing one, and that it would be allowed to be on a hinge so that the worker could remove the part easily. And then to solve the issue of misalignment, we decided to take some sort of netting, some sort of fabric that would essentially kind of crimp the part in place and make it so that before the hydraulic press came down, that it had less room to move around and become misaligned.
Alright.
Okay, we decided to go with the second prototype because when we weighed the pros and cons between the first and the second one ended up being more efficient. It was one, cost efficient because all we had to do was purchase the steel plate, which was around $25. And then we ended up purchasing muffler piping and having the Fab Lab weld them together to make it taller from an auto parts store in Walled Lake. We ended up using the netting provided in class because the wine cover netting that we purchased ended up being weaker than this netting already. We created our final prototype in the Fab Lab. We did everything ourselves except for the welding. So we countersunk a hole in the bottom to put the part from STEP in, as well as drilled holes.
When we arrived at STEP, we had to install our device, and we realized that the holes for the hinges were too big and were misaligned with the hinges that were already at STEP. We then had the customer test our product, and when the piston came down, it ripped the mesh, but our product never failed. So despite these two missteps, our product achieved its final goal.